Sludge UI. You are sitting in a dimly lit room, your thumb hovering over a smartphone screen as you try to cancel a monthly subscription you haven't used in half a year. But the option isn't where it should be. You are forced through 3 separate feedback surveys, a wall of guilt-tripping promotional offers, and a hidden, barely legible gray button buried at the bottom of a terms page. What should take 4 seconds takes 17 grueling minutes. You eventually close the app in frustration, promising yourself you will handle it tomorrow. That feeling of artificial exhaustion isn't a design flaw. It is a calculated psychological trap known as Sludge UI. While standard software design spends millions of dollars removing friction to make buying effortless, Sludge does the exact opposite. It deliberately injects extreme, convoluted friction into user interfaces to make canceling a service, deleting an account, or claiming a rebate as painful as humanly possible. Behavioral economist Cass Sunstein documented how corporations weaponize administrative sludge to drain your bank account. By forcing your brain to navigate deceptive visual layouts, misleading drop-down menus, and multi-step verification hurdles, the interface systematically drains your cognitive energy. Your prefrontal cortex suffers decision fatigue, and your brain defaults to the easiest option, giving up and letting the recurring charge hit your card for another month. The interface didn't fail you. It successfully weaponized your own mental burnout against you. Look at your bank statement right now. How many forgotten subscriptions or unclaimed rebates are quietly bleeding your savings every month simply because your brain surrendered to the intentional exhaustion of a screen? Yet, while Sludge uses artificial friction to lock you inside an app, social platforms needed an entirely different physical mechanism to keep you endlessly searching for content you haven't even seen yet. Pull to refresh. You pull your thumb down from the top of your social media feed, feeling that slight elastic tension built into the screen. You let go, and a tiny loading icon spins in the center of the display for half a second. You wait in complete silence, eyes glued to the glass, waiting to see what appears. Have you ever stopped to wonder why social media networks force you to manually drag the screen downward to update your feed, when your modern phone is fully capable of updating content automatically in the background? That physical gesture wasn't designed for technical convenience. It was modeled directly after the physical lever of a Las Vegas slot machine. In behavioral psychology, this mechanism is called variable ratio reinforcement. When interface developer Brichter created the pull to refresh gesture, tech giants like Twitter and Instagram quickly realized its terrifying psychological power. By forcing you to perform a physical action followed by an unpredictable brief delay, the interface creates a profound moment of psychological suspense. Your brain doesn't know if the upcoming refresh will reveal a viral post, a new message, or nothing at all. That exact uncertainty triggers a massive dopamine spike inside your brain's reward pathways before the screen even updates. The unpredictable reward schedule hijacks your motor habits, transforming your sleek smartphone into a pocket-sized gambling machine that rewards you just for pulling the lever. Notice how automatically your thumb drags downward whenever you unlock your screen, hunting for that subconscious hit of variable excitement before you've even consciously decided what app you wanted to open. Yet, pulling the lever for dopamine is only half the strategy. Once an interface has your undivided attention, tech giants employ a far more deceptive tactic designed to trick you into surrendering your digital privacy without a second thought. Privacy Zuckering? You launch a newly updated app on your phone, and an elegant pop-up immediately covers your screen. It displays friendly graphics, reassuring text about enhancing your user experience, and a big, bright blue button that says, "Continue." Desperate to get back to what you were doing, your thumb taps the blue button without reading the fine print. You assume you just acknowledged a routine software update. In reality, you just surrendered your precise real-time location, your full contact list, and permission to track your web activity across every other app on your device. This predatory design strategy is known in cybersecurity circles as privacy Zuckering, named after Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg. The Electronic Frontier Foundation classifies these as deceptive privacy patterns, specifically engineered to trick users into sharing far more personal data than they ever intended. Interface designers exploit basic human visual patterns by intentionally breaking standard user interface rules. They paint the data harvesting option in high contrast, appealing colors, while hiding true privacy opt-outs behind obscure submenus, confusing double negative toggles, and misleading language. Your brain naturally seeks the path of least visual resistance. By making privacy protection visually tedious and data surrendering visually effortless, the app manipulates your subconscious into consenting to invasive data extraction. You think you made a choice, but the software chose for you long before your thumb hit the glass. How much of your biometric data, location history, and personal contact list have you quietly surrendered this week alone, simply because an interface was visually engineered to make privacy feel like a chore? And even if you manage to close every app and place your phone face up on your desk, interface architects have designed a biological flare gun built to drag your eyes straight back to the screen. Red notifications. You are sitting at your desk, attempting to focus on work, when your eyes catch a subtle flash out of your peripheral vision. On the corner of a screen icon sits a tiny, vivid red circle containing the number 1. A sudden, uncomfortable itch forms in the back of your mind. You can't concentrate on anything else until that red dot disappears. Why does a microscopic colored circle on a piece of glass have the power to instantly disrupt your focus and demand your immediate physical intervention? That notification bubble wasn't colored red because it looked clean. Red is deeply hardwired into your amygdala, the brain's threat detection center, as an evolutionary signal for blood, poison, and immediate danger. When tech companies originally experimented with notification badges, they tested soft, calming colors like passive blue and neutral gray. But when product designers switched the badges to high saturation red, user click-through rates skyrocketed by over 50%. The bright red bubble triggers a microdose of low-level anxiety inside your nervous system. Your brain interprets the red dot as an unresolved threat or an emergency in your immediate environment. You aren't tapping that app because you are eager to read a message. You are tapping it to shut off the alarm bell firing inside your brain. The interface creates artificial biological stress, and clicking the icon is the only relief it offers. Take a look at your phone screen right now. How many small red alarms are currently glowing in your hand, quietly forcing your brain into a state of perpetual micro-anxiety just to keep corporate metrics rising? Autoplay. You are lying in bed, the credits rolling on your TV screen as a show finishes its season finale. Your room is completely dark, your eyes are heavy, and you know you have to wake up early tomorrow. But before you can reach for the remote, a small 5-second countdown timer appears in the bottom corner of your screen, quietly ticking down. Why is it so terrifyingly difficult to simply turn off the TV when a video ends, even when every fiber of your body is screaming at you to go to sleep? This psychological mechanism is known as autoplay, and it relies on a powerful human cognitive bias called default bias. Human decision-making requires active mental effort and willpower. For centuries, every form of media consumed by humans had natural stopping cues built in. The final page of a book chapter, a commercial break, or an ending credit sequence, giving your brain an intentional pause to evaluate your next move. Streaming platforms like Netflix and YouTube realized that if they inverted the default setting, making continuing automatic and stopping require physical intervention, watch times would soar. The brief countdown clock robs your prefrontal cortex of its natural decision window. Before your tired brain can assemble the willpower to reach for the controller and hit stop, the next episode has already begun playing. Autoplay systematically deletes your brain's stopping cues, forcing your subconscious to stay engaged simply because doing nothing is easier than taking action. Think about how many nights you intended to watch just one episode, only to wake up 4 hours later realizing you never actively decided to keep watching. The software simply decided for you. Yet, taking away your choice to stop watching isn't the only way software rewires your nervous system. Sometimes, your phone doesn't even need to light up to convince your brain it's calling for you. Ghost calls. You are walking down a crowded street when you feel a sudden, distinct buzz against your leg, inside your pocket. You reach down instantly, pull out your phone, and unlock the screen, only to find a completely blank notification bar. No new text messages, no missed calls, no alerts. How can your body physically feel a sharp vibration against your skin that never actually happened? You didn't imagine that physical sensation out of thin air. Your body just experienced phantom vibration syndrome. Because your smartphone has conditioned your brain to constantly crave unpredictable hits of digital validation, your nervous system is forced into a state of perpetual hypervigilance. Your sensory cortex becomes so overly sensitive to potential notifications that it misinterprets completely unrelated physical events, the friction of your jeans, a minor muscle twitch, or the shift of your clothing, as an incoming call. A landmark 2012 study revealed that an astounding 89% of young adults regularly experience phantom vibrations. Your smartphone hasn't just captured your mental attention, it has physically rewired your somatosensory system to hallucinate digital signals in the physical world. Your brain has been trained to treat non-existent vibrations as urgent, real-world events. How many times today did your hand instinctively reach for your pocket to check a notification that your own nervous system fabricated out of thin air? And while phantom vibrations demonstrate how your brain reacts to imaginary alerts, the true psychological pressure begins the moment a message actually lands in your inbox. Read receipts. You open a text message from a friend while standing in line at a grocery store. You read the 2 sentences, but before you can put your phone away to think of a response, a tiny timestamp appears underneath the message bubble, reading, "Seen at 10:14 a.m." A sudden wave of mild panic washes over you. You aren't ready to answer, but now you have no choice. Why does a simple digital timestamp carry the weight of a social gun held to your head? That subtle visual timestamp is known as read receipts, and it was deliberately engineered to weaponize human social anxiety. In human evolutionary history, ignoring a member of your social group face-to-face was considered a direct act of hostility. Read receipts digitize that exact vulnerability by destroying plausible deniability. Tech platforms discovered that by confirming to the sender that their message was viewed, they create an immediate artificial spike in interpersonal tension. Psychological studies show that active read receipts trigger a measurable rise in cortisol levels for both the sender and the receiver. You're forced to reply immediately, not because you genuinely want to communicate, but to avoid violating the unwritten digital contract of instant availability. The software converts a private thought into a public commitment, trapping your mind in a state of forced responsiveness. Think about how many times you have deliberately avoided opening a message just to preserve your privacy, allowing a simple text thread to dictate your daily peace of mind. Yet, even when you decide to sit back and wait for a response, interface designers have engineered a subtle visual loop designed to hold your eyes hostage on a blank screen. Typing bubbles. You send a delicate text message, and instantly 3 small gray dots, animated in a smooth, pulsing wave, appear inside a bubble at the bottom of your chat screen. You freeze, your thumb suspended over the screen, staring intently at those 3 moving dots. Why do 3 simple animated dots possess the hypnotic power to lock your eyes onto a completely static screen for a full minute at a time? That animated graphic is the typing indicator, and it is one of the most effective retention anchors ever built into messaging software. Before typing bubbles were introduced, messaging was an asynchronous experience. You sent a text and put your phone back in your pocket. But interface designers realized that displaying real-time typing indicators transforms passive communication into a live, high-stakes psychological performance. Data from major messaging platforms revealed that users will stare uninterrupted at a blank screen for up to 60 seconds while the typing dots pulse, trapped in a state of suspended anticipation. The dots signal to your brain that a social reward is imminent, triggering a continuous drip of anticipatory dopamine while simultaneously paralyzing your ability to close the app. If the dots suddenly vanish without a message appearing, your brain experiences a sharp crash in dopamine, leaving you stranded in psychological suspense. Reflect on how many minutes of your life you have spent sitting motionless, staring at 3 animated gray dots, holding your breath for a sentence that someone might not even finish sending. Snap streaks. You are lying in bed late at night, your eyes burning with fatigue, ready to fall asleep. But you force yourself to stay awake just long enough to open your camera, snap a blank black picture with the word streaks written across it, and send it to 30 different people. Why are you willing to perform a meaningless, repetitive digital ritual every single night just to protect a tiny flame icon and a 2-digit number next to someone's name? This psychological hook is known as snap streaks, and it was engineered to exploit a fundamental flaw in human decision-making called the sunk cost fallacy. Behavioral researchers analyzing social retention loops discovered that numeric streaks convert personal relationships into quantified digital investments. Once you build a streak past 50 or 100 consecutive days, your brain shifts from valuing the real-life friendship to protecting the visual metric. Loss aversion kicks in with overwhelming force. The fear of losing that accumulated digital investment triggers genuine anxiety, turning casual social interaction into a daily psychological obligation. You aren't staying in touch because you have something meaningful to say. You are completing an unpaid administrative task engineered to force you to open the app every 24 hours without fail. Look through your recent chat history right now. How many digital friendships are you maintaining not out of genuine human connection, but because your brain is terrified of watching an artificial number reset to 0? Yet, forcing you to maintain daily digital streaks is only one way app developers manufacture artificial urgency. Sometimes they make the content itself vanish into thin air. FOMO timers. You wake up in the morning, and before your feet even touch the floor, your thumb taps the top row of colorful circles lining your feed. You watch a 15-second video of someone walking their dog, fully aware that in a few hours, that video will vanish forever. Why does the temporary nature of disappearing media create such a compulsive, uncontrollable urge to check your phone before you've even started your day? This retention tactic relies on ephemeral content, commonly known as 24-hour stories, and it weaponizes the psychological phenomenon of FOMO, the fear of missing out. Historically, media consumed online was permanent and static. But when platforms like Instagram introduced disappearing 24-hour stories, their daily active user metrics skyrocketed. By introducing artificial scarcity, interface architects created a psychological deadline. Your brain perceives vanishing content as an expiring, non-renewable resource. If you don't log in every single day, you are permanently excluded from your social circle's shared experiences. The temporary timer transforms passive browsing into an urgent, time-sensitive necessity, forcing your brain to check the app constantly out of fear that the digital world is moving on without you. Think about how many completely mundane 15-second videos you consume every morning, purely because your subconscious is terrified of being left out of a conversation that won't even matter tomorrow. Yet, creating artificial urgency to pull you into the feed is only step one. Once you are scrolling, tech giants turn their attention to disguising commercial traps directly inside the content you trust. Disguised ads? You're casually scrolling through your feed, chuckling at a post from a creator you follow. You swipe to the next video, reading 3 full paragraphs of an intriguing story before noticing a tiny, faint gray word at the bottom of the image that says, "Sponsored." Why did your brain digest a commercial advertisement as genuine personal advice without realizing you were being sold a product? This deceptive visual strategy is known as disguised ads, or native advertising. For decades, human eyes learned to automatically ignore traditional banner ads and sidebars, a psychological phenomenon called banner blindness. To bypass your cognitive defenses, interface designers engineered native ads that mirror the exact typography, aspect ratio, frame rate, and informal tone of organic creator content. Comprehensive eye tracking studies revealed that users look at native disguised ads 53% more frequently than traditional advertisements. By cloaking commercial sales pitches in the visual dress of authentic posts, the software lowers your prefrontal cortex's critical filter, tricking your brain into absorbing sponsored messaging as unbiased truth. You aren't evaluating a product critically, you are absorbing a sales pitch with the lowered guard of a consumer enjoying entertainment. How many products or impulse purchases have you made over the past month, convinced it was your own independent decision, when you were actually manipulated by a disguised ad that hijacked your visual trust? And if a disguised ad tricks you into clicking through to a service, tech platforms deploy an even more aggressive trap to ensure that once you step inside, you can never step back out. Roach Motel. You clicked a single button to sign up for a free trial with one-tap digital payment. But 6 months later, when you try to leave, that single button is nowhere to be found. Instead, you are plunged into an endless labyrinth of hidden menus, forced customer service chats, and deceptive confirmation screens. How can a digital door open effortlessly with one tap, but lock itself behind 12 deadbolts the moment you try to walk out? This predatory architecture is called the Roach Motel pattern, an interface design where signing up for a subscription is effortless, but getting out is virtually impossible. Tech giants deliberately design asymmetrical user journeys. Entering requires zero cognitive friction, but exiting demands navigating convoluted submenus, ambiguous choice architecture, and intentionally broken cancellation links. Federal regulators and consumer protection agencies have filed landmark lawsuits against major corporations like Amazon and Adobe for using Roach Motel dark patterns to illegally trap consumers in paid memberships. Search Dark UI Patterns FTC cases to see the actual legal documents tech giants tried to seal in court. The software isn't built to assist you. It is designed as a digital lobster trap, engineered to drain your finances until you surrender. Think about how many services you are paying for right now simply because the cancellation process was designed to make you feel exhausted, helpless, and defeated. But trapping you inside a subscription is just one form of interface deception. Sometimes software designers use direct visual sabotage to force your hand. Bait and switch. A pop-up advertisement appears over the video you were trying to watch. You carefully position your thumb over the tiny, faded X in the top corner and tap it precisely. But instead of closing the ad, your browser suddenly opens a new tab and begins downloading an unwanted application. Why did tapping a button that explicitly means close produce the exact opposite result? This aggressive visual violation is known as the bait and switch. Documented extensively by digital consumer research projects, the bait and switch occurs when an interface element promises one outcome but secretly executes another. Designers exploit your muscle memory and established visual literacy. They turn close buttons into invisible click targets for ad URLs, invert colors on cancel and confirm buttons, or trigger unexpected downloads when you attempt to decline an offer. The interface deliberately lies to your brain, subverting your intent and hijacking your motor actions to inflate corporate metrics. Notice the anger and helplessness you feel when software betrays your basic expectations, forcing you into actions you never intended to take. If you think these dark UI patterns are alarming, they are just the surface layer of a much deeper, more terrifying architecture of reality. Click the video on your screen right now to uncover every hidden system and invisible law that controls reality. I'll see you there.